Welcome to Conversations with Conrad, morning or afternoon musings. I want to say I'm coming on quickly. I'm not going to be on long because I know everybody in New York is about to watch the Knicks game. I'm in Harlem. I'm going to watch the game in probably one of these wonderful places in Harlem. But I wanted to jump on and say there are a couple of things that I want to pull your coat about. As you know, on this program, we come to you not from the right, not from the left. And I want to just bring to you a good black analysis, that third eye, that African-American analysis. Now, my broadcast is a direct response to the New York City public advocate, Jumaane Williams. Now, I like Jumaane as a person. He's a brother. He's a good brother. I like him. I don't have any personal animosity toward him, and I think he's, a committed man. Morning, and it was a tale of two mayors, and he contrasted Mayor Ras Baraka in Newark with Mayor Eric Adams in New York yesterday, and in particular, the day that they had. They both were engaged in a lot of work, and Jumaane Williams posted the tale of two mayors as a contrast, and let's be frank, his contrast was to show Mayor Eric Adams in an unfavorable light. Well, as I've already told you all, I fully support Mayor Eric Adams. I support Mayor Ras Baraka. And what Jumaane Williams doesn't understand, or at least what he's feigning like he doesn't understand or misleading people about, is that we have many different contexts in our leadership and in our community. Mayor Ras Baraka, I've known him almost 40 years. I've known Eric Adams almost 40 years. And both of them are doing exactly what their entire careers have led them to do, and that's struggle for our people. They both are doing that. Eric started with the Guardians Association, first with one of the most revolutionary black churches in New York, House of the Lord Pentecostal Church, led by the great Reverend Herbert Daughtry. And then, of course, he was the president of the Guardians Association, and then he formed 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Cares. Ras Baraka, I met him when he was a student at Howard University. I was a student at the University of Pennsylvania. He's a few years behind me. Eric is a few years in front of me. But of course, he's the son of Amir Baraka and the son of Newark. And let me just say that they both are tremendous fighters for our people. And so really a true black man that's interested in unity in our community would never make a contrast, would never contrast Eric Adams and Jumaane Williams, okay? They just wouldn't do it. And yes, UPenn is as good as it gets. I love it. That's my alma mater. I love it. But my point is this: a true person interested in advancing African Americans would never contrast them. You see, Jumaane Williams is a leftist, and that's a part of his political orientation. I have no problem with that. We've had a long tradition of leftists. Huey P. Newton was a leftist. Stokely Carmichael, later Kwame Ture, was a leftist. I have no problem with. I'm very close to Kwame Ture. In many ways, he was a mentor to me in many things. I understood his leftist orientation because, unlike most of these leftists, Kwame understood two things. Number one, your leftist orientation is an African-centered leftist orientation. And he also understood, because the left is largely ungodly. All right, Marx was an atheist. They promote the concept that religion is the opium of the masses, and they are very antithetical, including Castro, to the church and religion. Well, I can't rock with anybody that's against religion. I can't rock with anybody against the church. I won't do it. And so when people are left, if they don't have a common sense of leftism, which recognizes the church, Ron Daniels, for example, he's a common sense leftist, Afrocentric leftist. And Kwame understood the problem he had with socialism was that you can't discount the black church and the religion of black people, because you can't even talk to black people if you don't understand their religion. And that's why the Democratic Socialists and the New York leftists, they don't attack the church outright, because they have better common sense than that. But believe me, they are contemptuous of our churches, our core organizations. Now, let's get back to this contrast. Yesterday, Mayor Ras Baraka went to an immigrant center, and he was arrested, standing up for immigrants. And I respect that. Ras Baraka lives and is the mayor of a city that has a very large immigrant population. He has a whole Portuguese quarter. He's got other immigrants from all over the world. So in his capacity as mayor, standing up for immigrants is a great thing, important. And I'm glad that he did it. Now, a part of our leadership tradition is sometimes we do offer ourselves for arrest. I'm sure when Ras Baraka went down there that day, it was to be arrested. And he was arrested. And he brought attention to and dramatized the plight of immigrants. That's what protest was about in the civil rights movement. That's what the strategic stances were about when the decision would be made in the movement. We're going to jail. In 1963, Easter Sunday, when all the black preachers were getting ready to have a great Easter Sunday, and the Birmingham movement had stalled. Nobody was supporting it. A lot of people were in jail. It had ground to a halt. Dr. King was meeting with the other ministers in the motel, and he had to make a decision. He went in there and prayed on what to do next. And they say he came out with his overalls on, which meant those were his marching clothes, which meant he had decided, instead of going back to Atlanta to have a grand and high service, he decided to go to jail that weekend. And he would go down and he would kneel before Bull Connor's police, and they snatched him up and took him, he and his comrade, Reverend Ralph Abernathy, to jail. And so that's a part of our tradition. You know, Raz knew from the beginning he was going to go get arrested and he was going to be out. That's fine. I mean, that's success. He succeeded. He was on every news channel. He dramatized the issue. Now, Eric Adams was also doing what mayors do. Yesterday, he was meeting with the President of the United States. Now, I'm getting sick and tired of black people like Jumaane Williams, who conveniently keep trying to play to our ignorance and act as though Mayor Adams is in Trump's back pocket. Now, all of you black folks that are jumping up on Team Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo has already said he can work with President Trump. In one ad, he says he's going to fight him, and in the next ad, he says he can work with him. You know why? Because he knows that in spite of how powerful you think the mayor of New York is, the president of the United States is exponentially more powerful. And so if you elect any fool that can't sit down and talk to the president of the United States, then I assure you, your city is in for a very rough 4 years. So let's dispense with the foolishness the madness. Let's stop playing games. If Ras Baraka is elected governor of the state of New Jersey, he will be dealing with the mayor. When he had Republican governors, he dealt with them. You have to deal with people in power. And so Ras didn't contrast himself with Eric. Eric didn't contrast himself with Ras. But Jumaane Williams is carrying the water of the socialists. Why don't you come out and declare for Adrian Adams? You won't do that because you want the socialist Zoran to win. But you're playing it smart. You think you are. You're attacking Eric every chance you get, and you have not taken a stance. We don't need black leadership like that. Well, maybe you say, well, I'm not a black leader. I'm the public advocate. Fine. Then don't try to tell black folks, don't try to contrast two black mayors, because Eric Adams, this city is a million times better than it was under de Blasio when he got it 3.5 years ago. And all people have to do is open their eyes. And we've got to stop this foolishness. You tell me you're a black leader and you're pushing for Zoran, and we got a strong black mayor in office. Maybe you might fool some people, but it's people like me that are going to hold you accountable and let people know the game that you're playing. Eric Adams yesterday was working on behalf of New York City. And I know you don't like that Trump is the president. I don't care. It doesn't make any difference to me. He is the president. And I guarantee you, I'm sick and tired of this double standard. Now, when a white mayor will go down there and meet with the president, you'll say he has to do what he has to do. But any black man that will take a position and get off this liberal script, this progressive script, which is right now, you don't talk to Trump, you don't mention Trump, you don't have to like Trump. That's not even important. But what is important is that the mayor of New York City be able to go to Washington and work on behalf of the people of the city of New York. And so there's no contrast. Yes, it's a tale of two very excellent black mayors. It's a tale of two black men that have been on the track when you didn't even know what the track was, okay? And it's a tale of a man doing a job that you don't have the sophistication, the wherewithal, or the maturity to do. You act like when Mayor Adams is elected, he's not the mayor of the people of all of New York City. He's the mayor of Harlem. He's the mayor of the Bronx, Bedford-Stuyvesant, Crown Heights. He's the mayor of Queens, South Jamaica, as well as the more ethnic areas, white ethnic areas. He's the mayor of Astoria, of all of Queens, Queens Village. And so he's also the mayor of the folks in Staten Island. And so he can't play your games. You're the mayor. You're the public advocate in New York, which is a very liberal city, but not the public advocate in the same way that the mayor is accountable to all. You don't really have a portfolio. Your portfolio is press conferences. What are the deliverables? You don't have the deliverables. You're not working with Wall Street. You're not working with the business community. You're not working with the UN. You don't have any accountability or deliverables to those people. You're just running around like a student activist, taking what you think is the most militant position, trying to impress foolish people or politically immature people. And, you know, you're about 40 or 50 years old. And I would think that you would do your work, advocate for people, and also understand that the mayor has to do his. And so when I saw that today, I said, you know what, I'm going on air because I'm sick and tired of these quasi-black leaders playing games. They don't want to come out and say that they're not supporting a black mayor because they want to keep the relevance. But at the same time, they keep raising these really foolish contradictions. The same people that were running around here talking about Eric Adams has, well, there's some ethical things. He's got some court cases coming up. Well, I mean, the Justice Department has referred Cuomo for investigation. Are you going to abandon him if he's investigated or indicted? Tish James, our Attorney General, she's facing that now. What about innocent until proven guilty? What about trusting the people you've known all of these years and supporting them unless you have proof or reason to believe they've committed a crime? No, I'm gonna stand with the mayor. I think Zoran is gonna win because I think, number one, black folks don't vote enough. And I think the socialists are so well organized in the Democratic primary. But let me tell you something. There are some independents in every borough of every race, every ethnicity. There are some Republicans. There are some Democrats that are fed up with the Democratic Party and are not going along with the leftist stuff. And I guarantee you, when Zoran wins the primary, when he shakes up the world and shows that the Cuomo machine that you have so much confidence in ran out of gas, when Andrew Cuomo resigned, when he was charged instead of standing tall in the saddle and saying, I'm innocent. And then it'll be a clear contest between a common sense mayor and a radical socialist. And when I say radical, let me tell you something. I'm a centrist. I come out of the black tradition. That term radical to me has very little meaning because the people who claim to be so radical to me aren't radical at all. Just because you talk about revolution doesn't mean you're leading one. That doesn't mean you're involved in one. Just because you talk about bringing about socialism, it doesn't mean you will. You will never bring about socialism in this capitalist country because American people like freedom. American people don't want to live under Castro's Cuba. They don't want to live under Stalin's Russia or Gorbachev's. And as far as I remember, the Berlin Wall fell in 1989. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't see America. I mean, that's old promise. We've gone through 100 or more years of Marxism, and it has never brought anything but misery, poverty, want, oppression, and violence. And so, tell the people the truth, Monty Williams, and leave Eric Adams alone. Because Eric Adams is standing for truth. He's a strong mayor. He's got a lot of different factors to deal with. But sometimes, instead of looking for something new, you better stay the course. This city had 25 years of Republican mayors. 8 years of de Blasio, and this city went into the toilet. Went into the toilet. Went into the toilet. And now we're gonna elect somebody left of de Blasio? You out of your mind. I'm gonna wake up black people. I'm gonna wake up Jews. I'm gonna wake up Latinos. I'm gonna wake up Sikhs and Hindus. I'm gonna wake up the citizens of New York that we've got a good mayor. He's not perfect. I've been telling the black preachers and the black leaders and community organizations, he can do better and he will do better. You mean de Blasio deserved a second term, but Eric Adams doesn't? That tells me that New York, it's impossible for New Yorkers to afford a black candidate or a black incumbent a second term. Dinkins was robbed of a second term. And Dinkins and Eric Adams are nothing alike. So that tells me that New York is still challenged on this issue, but I'm telling all of the white folks, ethnics, Jews, Catholics, Protestants, whatever issue you got, reconcile it, because a sensible man like Eric Adams is a lot more palatable to you and to me, and to the people in Bedford-Stuyvesant, people in Crown Heights, people in Ocean Hill, Brownsville, South Jamaica, St. Albans, all you private homeowners in St. Albans, Queens Village, all you folks out there in Hollis, wake up. wake up before it's too late. And we might start having to look for a new public advocate. I know he has a primary. We might need to run somebody else because Jumaane Williams has just thrown in with the left against the interest of the middle class, against the interests of the folks that are working hard, trying to make a living for themselves. And that's what you find with the left, typically speaking. They think your little aspirations, your modest are too dumb, too small for them. As far as they're concerned, it's rather than going to work and taking care of your children, going to church, having dinner with your family, going to the masjid, going to the synagogue or temple, and having barbecues and having cookouts and block parties, that's too small. As far as they're concerned, you should be involved in a worldwide revolution. And I might add one that has never taken place and will never take place. And it's certainly not going to take place in New York City. And so that's all. I'm going to watch the Knicks. Go Knicks! And 4 more years for Mayor Eric Adams. That's it. Have a good evening.